Hello, all you Marvel fans. Welcome to another episode of the Marvel Rewind and our season finale episode of She-Hulk. No Marvel Rewind for a while after this one, but I'm sure we'll be talking about it on now. But as always, I'm Brian for Puckflix Movies with Jacob, and our friend Rue is here to discuss this finale. How's everyone doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
great. New angle, new shirt.
Oh, nice.
But
Dig it.
here for the second day in a row. I'm loving it.
Perfect. Yeah, so season finale of She-Hulk, 9 episodes. Overall thoughts. What did we think of the season? Let's just get straight into it. Jacob, what'd you think?
I am all over the place with this season, to be honest. At first, I loved it. And then I went through like a what is going on stage. And I'm like, this is awesome. And now I'm like, whoa, that was ambitious. Overall, look, it's about Jennifer and about She-Hulk. I love the character. The character is amazing, so well-rounded. The show itself, I'm mediocre on, but we'll talk more about it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Rue, what'd you think of the whole thing?
So I have liked or enjoyed every single Marvel Disney Plus show, and that includes this one, but it's the bottom of my list. It's
That's
the bottom
fair.
of my
Wow.
things I like. And the finale actually summed up the show 100%, where there's some things I like, or again, very similar to Jacob, things I started out that I really, really enjoyed, and then it started hitting some of the jokes that like don't hit me as much. And I'm kind of like, all right, this is a little too corny for me, or this is a little too like, why is this happening? And then it does something that is like, oh, okay, I'm back. Yes, and I like that. And that's been the season. It's really been up and down, and I can see both why people will love it and why people would not like it, and it wouldn't be for them. It's weird because I don't know how a show can be written well but not at the same time. Like the I would say the lines and the dialogue in between everybody was pretty cool, but sometimes the plot was just lacking here and there. But when it hit, it was great. I loved it. Like my favorite episodes. I loved it. I really liked the pilot. And really, I really liked the wedding episode. I thought the wedding episode was like the perfect
Me
balance.
too. Love
That's
that episode.
And then the Daredevil episode was also again perfect balance, great balance. I love the combination of action and comedy. But I'm with Jacob on this thing. It knew what it wanted to do and it went for it. And and I like that. I've been calling it the most consistently inconsistent. It is consistent in what it wants to do and it's going to give it to you. Whether it's going to hit you every time is going to be your inconsistent part. So it is definitely bottom of the shows for me, but I still overall put this on a positive note, if like right there on the edge of positivity.
Yeah, no, I
agree with that.
I agree. I think that I don't think like this is one of the. It wasn't like in any ways like, oh my god, this show is absolute garbage from beginning to end. It was completely trash. Like I don't think it was that. It definitely had high moments and it definitely had like some moments that you're just like, okay, whatever.
I would say there was a couple of trash like moments, but nothing that got a full trash episode at least.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can
maybe episode 6.
Which one was 6?
The retreat or whatever.
I like that
where
one.
It was.
It's all right.
It's funny because I think that there's so much variety in it that like you're definitely gonna have like people liking. I mean, other than the Daredevil episode, that was pretty much unanimously loved. Like which ones people like and didn't like. Like certain ones, people are gonna think, "Oh, this is the best episode," and then you're gonna have ones that people hated.
Hey, Gordon's right. It was episode 7. That's what I meant. I'm getting thrown off by these episode numbers. But yeah,
That's fair.
episode 7.
There's a lot to keep
Yeah.
track of. Okay, should we just dive straight into the episode? What specifically did we like, not like? Anything you want to immediately talk about of this episode?
It's the thing to talk about. Completely shattering the fourth wall, and it is a swing of all swings, and I think they delivered on it. I thought that was great. I thought it was. There are some aspects that are a little bit like, okay, you're reaching, or you're getting again a little bit into the corniness of it, but overall, I'm like, you know what, you went for it, and I like it a lot. I really enjoying turning Feige into basically Portal or the bot from Wall-E or any AI thing you can think of. How that was funny. There was one specific line where she started to sit down and started to go at like the daddy issues and then throw her in that. That was hilarious.
Oh, yes, it
that
was
hilarious to me.
When she said that, I was like, daddy issues. And then she lists them and I'm like, oh shit. Like that actually is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And going through the Disney Plus, they went all for it, and I was here for it. I was here for it. Good parts, bad parts, whatever. It was just like, it was glorious, and I loved it. And that was the thing that, like, yes, is exactly why, for me, even though it's the show is on the bottom of my list, it has the most potential. Like, this is one of the characters and groups of characters. I'm like, if you all can find a good stride, I want to see more of you. And it's for reasons like this.
That was my favorite part of the episode, was it logging back out to Disney Plus, and then literally like she punched through her thumbnail and then jumped into the next one. Because I remember in WandaVision when it did that glitch, and I was like, was that my TV or was that the show? And like this like did that to me for like that half a second before she started talking. I was like, did I sit on the button? Like I literally thought I sat on the remote, and then she started talking. I loved that part, because that is such comic book, her ripping through a page or getting pissed off about something and jumping to the end of the comic book by walking across it. It was genius. I loved that part.
Yeah, so in what I'm talking about, stuff that I'm disappointed in, this is not what I'm talking about. This is what I expected from She-Hulk. Like, I didn't know they were going to go this far. Like, literally pop out of the Disney Plus app. She said, let me take this inhibitor off. So first of all, they're basically saying like, she took the inhibitor off so she can turn into She-Hulk, right? So
yeah,
because
a life sentence, by the way, of never turning into She-Hulk for punching some TV screens.
Yeah, and
that's one of the things that I'll be like, I will get into when we're talking about parts of the
Blonsky
show. Like,
even get a life sentence for his? Like,
no.
Yeah. So, anyways, like the fourth wall breaking is amazing, and that's what I mean by it's ambitious. Like, they went as far as you can go in season 1 or first She-Hulk project with the fourth wall breaking in this episode, and I loved that. And that's what they should be doing. But that amazing moment or scene, segment, whatever, shouldn't replace like, okay, well, hold on. What's the story here? Like, what? No, you don't just get to jump to like, just have this really cool moment and then end the show. And there's no story conclusion at all. Like, to me, didn't necessarily work. But like the moment from when she jumps onto the Disney Plus app and then right before she comes back is gold. Absolute gold.
Yeah, my wife was like, "This is cool," but when they came back, she's like, "How did the police get there? What's happening? I'm so confused. What's going on?"
And that's the thing to me, like, is like Daredevil just dropping out of the sky? Is that like canon? Is that legit in the MCU? Like, did he just pop up out of nowhere when he already went back to New York? Like, I don't know.
I just took it as accepting it as she went to the end. She ended the show. We're at a conclusion. You're not going to get it. You're going to get. And I see your point a lot, because it is we were thinking we were going to get, we were hoping we were going to get the leader, but would have been okay. And I'm okay that we didn't get him, but like some type of actual conclusion of why do I want to call them Illumination? Intelligentsia,
Pods?
my gosh.
Oh, intelligentsia.
Intelligentsia. And not getting it. And I was like, okay, the entire season has also just been a shot at trolls from front to back.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going full blown, oh no, I'm shooting at everybody. And we're not even going to give you a conclusion. We're going to give you your own mirror to your face. And we're ending it here. Because She-Hulk is the one to do it. So yes, it is a little bit of a cop-out. Probably a little bit more than a little bit of a cop-out in terms of the story. But if you're going to do that and you're going to swing and you're going to say this is what you're getting with She-Hulk, shut the hell up. I'm okay with it. But get understanding like that's a little bit of you're dropping the ball there.
That's fair. It's funny because when Todd was like gonna turn into his Hulk, I was like, no. I was like, this is dumb. Like I didn't like it, and then it changes. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm fine with this part not happening because I was not really down for like him turning into a Hulk or having that being there. So like in that aspect, I didn't mind because I was like, when that was happening, I was just like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted. And then it's just like, oh, we changed it. But like the intelligentsia stuff, like that kind of had potential. Like that I was like kind of interested in like a network that is kind of just like maybe just being like super bad and it can evolve or something like that. But I mean, whatever. Jacob, is there anything?
Yeah, no. So it was just interesting to me because like as the third act of the episode is unraveling and like, so everything that leads up to him like injecting himself with serum, I was like, okay, I can buy this, I guess. And then like I thought what they were doing was Blonsky was a part of this the whole time and that like he was in on it, like setting her up or whatever. Cause like he just ironically happened to be hosting that guy's event at his place. So I thought that like, not that he specifically was going after She-Hulk, but for some reason he was okay with them doing it. And that like, I thought she was about to fight Abomination. And I was like, wow, like I hope she can survive that fight. But that's where I thought they were going. And then I was like, okay. And then they kind of undid that. But then at the same time, for me, look at Blonsky, right? He's just, well, he got sent back to prison, but he left with Wong, obviously. But it's like, so we did a full like 360 with Blonsky. He's just back to being in prison and escaping with Wong.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That was cool. But again, another question where I was like, okay, I was with you. I was like, so is he, when he came out, I was like, oh, okay, he's a villain. And then I saw him, he kept talking. And I was like, wait, is he just like not realizing who they are? And just like trying to help people be the best themselves, but not realizing that they're doing bad stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like, I mean, there would have been a good twist, but I don't think y'all are going deep enough into it in like making a decision. And again, mirrors what the show has been like for me. The fourth wall seems to be the only thing they dug into a lot. The fourth wall, the patrolling, everything else that they did was kind of at surface level. Like picking the courtroom stuff. So it's a courtroom show, but none of the courtroom stuff was like more than an episode long. So like one part of this episode that I like, it was cool, but I didn't really enjoy as much was her trial. Was her while watching it, I was like, this should have been like, this could have been, maybe not should have been, but could have been like a 3-4 episode arc. She loses her control. She gets angry. Now we have a trial. Then we have a verdict. Then she has to deal with her inhibitor over a couple of episodes to really get an arc on her dealing with that. But they did it in one episode, and then they did the flash forward of her somehow losing her house already. And it's like, wait, how did she lose her house that quickly? She's a lawyer. She's got banks somewhere saving up, right? So, like, I don't know many lawyers living check to check.
So that honestly might be kind of one of my biggest confusions with the show is like the progression of time is very confusing to me in the show, which I mean can bring up the big egg in the room, but like how like time I just don't understand like how fast this is going, because like we can't be more than like 5 years ish removed from the events of Ragnarok, and Hulk has a full grown kid now.
Oh,
So
but think about the
Need to
time
think
jump
about that.
there. There's another 5 years though because of Endgame.
Yeah. Because Endgame is 2023, or 2025.
But maybe
like 5
Hulk
years
babies
later.
accelerate.
yeah, exactly. That's I
Faster,
mean that's
yeah.
probably like the who knows, because they could do anything with
It's
it.
basically a big ass 10-year-old. If
Yeah.
you want to think about it, like 5 years,
Yeah.
it's a 5 year jump. It's a big ass 10-year-old.
Yeah,
The opposite of Baby Yoda, like they, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm assuming like the ending was only like the next day, because of Daredevil, unless they're actually like dating where he came back, which I don't see them being a thing, like that would be like the next day. But like you saying her, I didn't even think about like the fact of her like losing her house that quickly, like
Yeah.
all the stuff kind of just
went
moves.
really, really quickly. But speaking of that ending, real quick, if you haven't seen it, go check out Nerd Chronic's tweet of him editing,
So good.
that last scene, that outside dinner scene with the Fast and the Furious. It is seamless and it is great. Shout out to Nerd Chronic, because that was beautiful.
fantastic.
That's what I was thinking when it came on. It felt just like a Fast and Furious ending. It really did.
Yeah, it literally was like family coming around dinner. Okay, so I mean, elephant in the room. Hulk's kid is now here. Scar is now here. He is now a thing. He is now in the MCU. Thoughts? How do we feel about it? Obviously, that's the big, oh my gosh moment.
I'll go first because we're now getting into territory of things I don't know. I've never been I only have the Marvel comic cards. I've never had the comic books. I only go off of what I've heard from people like y'all and who's read it. So I believe he's a part of the World War Hulk comic run, and I just heard theories about when he left, whether or not that would happen. So that's kind of another little crumb for that. I'm just interested in where this is going, and based off of theories of what I heard of different runs, whether or not we're getting full-blown Rage Hulk at some point because of things that may happen. But that's all I got, because I know nothing from here on out about this run. So I'm interested. Give Hulk actual stories and not side characters anymore.
There you go.
So I think that it is safe to say you're getting a World War Hulk movie. I would assume.
Yeah.
It's funny because
after Secret Wars, though, I think.
Probably.
I think, honestly, there's no room for it.
I don't know, Jacob, because in the events of the comics, World War Hulk was a catalyst of Secret Wars.
There's a lot of slots in Phase 6, though. There are.
How much time is in between Kang Dynasty and and
it just got pushed back to 2026.
Yeah, so, it got pushed back another 6 months, so a whole year.
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty did?
Secret Wars did. Because they were both coming out in the same year, and then it just got pushed a whole...
Okay, so maybe... Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll happen in between those two. Maybe.
So, this is what makes me think... I think Marvel has the rights back to Hulk, full blown, because Universal had the rights to Namor and Hulk. Namor is clearly back.
They just had the distribution rights.
Yeah. And so I think, unless they work something out, which They could have. I would not be surprised if they have the rights to Hulk back, and now that's why this is happening, because that's why he didn't have his own movie, because Disney wouldn't have control over it. It makes sense to drop that somewhere in Phase 6. I mean, I don't know how much longer, like, I mean, he's an original 6. How long do you keep the Hulk, like, front and center past, like, Phase 6, do you think?
Well,
Probably not too much longer.
The thing is, one, Hulk hasn't had his story yet.
That's fair.
And it's a character that can just go in so many different ways and run for so long. Or it just seems like he can. I mean, all of them can, but for some reason that. But the other thing is Mark Ruffalo. I don't think Mark Ruffalo is ever going to get tired of doing this and playing this. He just looks like he's continuously having fun forever. So he may do this for a long time.
I mean,
yeah,
he does it. I mean, I love Mark Ruffalo, but like, has he really done anything like major since in the last couple of years? Like,
other than the MC movies, he basically does like indie films. Like he was nominated for Oscar for the not The Post, but the other one. That movie with Michael Keaton.
That was
Spotlight. That was a while ago.
He was in the Adam Project. That's the last biggest thing that I saw him in.
Yeah,
that wasn't MCU.
So I mean, he could be easily probably doing side stuff while just jumping in here and there with the MCU. But I mean, it is definitely like due. Like the fact that we're this far into this Marvel universe and Hulk hasn't really had his spotlight since the second movie, and it wasn't with this actor. And like you said, Rue, like he has not really truly ever been Hulk. Like it,
we're getting all his people back. Abomination is back. Leader is back. Harrison Ford is now Thunderbolt Ross, according to like really big rumors and announcements.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, and to be fair, now he has a cousin who's a Hulk. He has a son who's a Hulk. Like they're setting up a lot here. But the thing is, so with Universal, like if Marvel released a Hulk movie or a Namor movie, Universal would get all the profit from it. So that's why they can't do it. They can still make one, but Universal would release the movie and get the money. So there's no point for Marvel to do it. But they could do, I heard somebody joking about like, what if Captain America 4 is really a World War Hulk? Like, I don't know how that would work, but, or they could do like something like that, like Avengers World War Hulk or something. It could be somebody else's movie, like also if they wanted to do that. But I think you guys are right. Like he needs his story due, and it's all here now. Before he had nothing. Like no one connected him to anything except maybe Natasha. Like that was his only like, you know, emotional connection to any other character that we were seeing frequently. So now we have a whole setup for him. Mm-hmm. So who knows where it can go.
Yeah, I mean, you don't drop, oh, this is my son, and he's a Hulk. Like
it was so quick too.
Yeah, and like without like, yeah, we're gonna visit this. Like this is gonna be a thing. Yes. Like this, this is a major thing. Like the probably, arguably, like the most impactful thing that's happened to the Hulk in quite a while, outside of just like him balancing his powers and like things like that. So I mean, the storyline has clearly been set up in some capacity that we're getting Hulk, whether it's a TV show, a special presentation, or a movie, who knows? But like, I mean, World War Hulk is a huge and arguably one of his greatest stories. So like, why not adapt it in some capacity if you can? I mean, I would assume all of us want that, right? Like, would be open to that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So again, I haven't read it, but like, I'm guessing that Jennifer plays a role. unless she's like dead already or something.
I mean,
In the comics, like she has to, right?
probably.
And obviously she's probably against him. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, it's been so that I read that one so long ago. I don't even remember really if she does specifically. But I mean, it could be interesting. It could be fun. I think it is definitely due. But I mean, She-Hulk definitely set up like the Hulk family, if you will. The Hulk, like it definitely pushed the Hulk's universe more forward than it has in a very long time.
It really has. Ever since Ragnarok, I guess. I mean, he had a big storyline in that. So
yeah. Anything else that we want to like hit as far as the show? Anything specific, Rue?
I'm hoping it gets to season 2, and I'm hoping that they make it. They still keep their comedy vibe, but they make it a little bit more focused.
Like, so not so much like the variety show type.
No, yeah,
all over.
Like because at the beginning of the season, everybody was like, "Oh, comic book Ally McBeal," but Ally McBeal wasn't like your 30-minute one courtroom thing every 30 minutes, or if they were, it was 2, and then they had an arc for a longer one, and then an arc for a longer one, where you would have stories go over multiple episodes. So I want them to keep their vibe, but like kind of cut down, get a little bit more serious. So like things like in the 8th episode at the end where she got a life sentence and people were yelling at her, going crazy, and when the episode with the first episode with Abomination, when he turned and all the panel who was the parole panel, they were yelling like crazy, and I'm like, all he did was turn. Why are y'all like screaming so like you're about to die? And then you're doing it again in this episode. I was like, these are the points of the show where I'm like, y'all could have dialed that back. And so I'm hoping for, because again, Tatiana Maslany killed it.
Oh, absolutely.
Ginger Gonzaga and Josh Segarra killed it when it wasn't when it wasn't corny. Renee Elise Goldsberry was great as Mallory. Like the cast in general,
cast is fantastic.
Was great. So I want them to keep their vibe. I want them to keep the fourth wall breaking, but I want more of a through storyline, so they can make it more serious, so we can see more of the courtroom. And maybe this was their season to be like, all of you shut the hell up. We're going to do this to shut you the hell up. And now I'm going to give you, what you're getting. Now I'm going to give you more of a show to go along with it, more of a story to go along with it, and not just let's give you 30 minutes of Jen, which were great character pieces, but none of them every episode kind of reset before you got really deep into those storylines. So like a perfect example, she was like, I'm just getting into my like coming to terms with being Jen and She-Hulk, and now you stop the storyline. I get it, but yes, you just stopped the storyline, and it's the last episode. So that's what I'm hoping for the future for She-Hulk.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like we definitely we finally kind of got to the meat of her character, and then now it's kind of like, well, no, we're not. We're done with the season. So I'm kind of it leaves, I mean, in a good way, it does kind of leave you wanting a little bit more. But you still almost are a little unsatisfied. You didn't get enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was an odd experience. It was kind of like, hey, we're going to give you a bad finale, then complain about it ourselves, which is going to be good. I feel like that's what they were going for. And I think it just missed sticking the landing. I think it was all there and it just missed it. But I still enjoyed myself overall. If you're telling me out of all the Marvel shows that we got, which ones do you have to have a season 2 for? I mean, it would be Loki, obviously, because there's so many things. And then honestly, for me, it would be She-Hulk. I loved Miss Marvel. I think it's way better than this show, but I would rather see a She-Hulk season 2 because I want to see the character progress, in this TV format. Like Miss Marvel, you could make a movie for her. Like, let's go. We're ready to go.
Basically are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still on board with She-Hulk as a character. I'm just like, I don't know about the season overall.
That's fair. I mean, I don't think any of us hate it.
No, and I don't even have
in
it
any
as
capacity.
my worst. Like, I think I would say maybe Hawkeye is my least favorite.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
that hurts my heart.
Mm-hmm.
What? You're
here's the thing.
crazy.
Ooh.
Wait, everybody loves Hawkeye now? Like,
I've
Amaru, I
always
don't know
loved
your thoughts
Hawkeye
on Hawkeye,
was
Brian, but you
great.
weren't loving Hawkeye when it was on
Yes,
necessarily.
I didn't. I
Did
liked
you?
it. At least I
Oh.
thought I did.
No, well, like all of them are good and above, honestly. So like Hawkeye's good, and Hawkeye has Yelena in it, so maybe. But anyways, like, and then but for me, it's still WandaVision at the top, and then I have Miss Marvel number 2, and then somewhere in between, like Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier. How many shows are there? Are there 6 or more?
8.
Yeah.
I believe there are 8 now.
It's 8 or 9.
Okay. But yeah, my point being is like, She-Hulk's not even at the bottom of my list, so I still liked it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's completely fair. Maybe we'll have to convince Jake to do a ranking.
Yeah, I mean we don't get another one for a while, right? So it'd be a good time to do it.
Yeah,
but the one that's coming. Secret Invasion. I can't.
Oh my
Cannot.
god.
Oh my gosh. That looks
Yeah.
God, that's our next one, huh? Secret Invasion.
Yes. Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, that's gonna be a long and grueling, probably like 5 months till we get that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be so worth it. So worth it. Anything else before we sign off here? I know we'll end up talking about this again on Apocalypse Now, probably on Tuesday. Jacob, do you have something?
No, I was just gonna say, Matt and Jennifer are my favorite couple in the MCU now. I hope they actually stay together.
They're so funny.
Like, yes.
They really
Oh,
are good. Rue, you have any? I want to make sure you have the floor if you have anything that you want to.
No, I gave my thoughts. Again, She-Hulk is at the bottom of my list, but there isn't a show that I outright don't like. I like or enjoyed all of them. But it was just a little too inconsistent for me. There were, I still say Loki has the worst episode of all of the MCU shows, period. I hated episode 3. I think it was pointless. Nothing has gone below that yet.
Which episode was that?
It's the one where him and Sylvie are on the train and they're trying to get to that planet, and it was pointless to me. I cannot stand that episode. So that is still the worst episode of everything. But She-Hulk had a couple of episodes that were close to I really did not like it at all. Probably, unfortunately, the one with my man Billy Walsh from Entourage, the Donnie Blaze or whatever. That was
yeah.
It was whatever. But again, overall the show, it's a solid okay. It's a solid okay and enjoyable with a lot of highs. And a lot of potential, like characters that I really want to continue seeing. So
couldn't agree more. Anything else anyone want to say before we wrap this show up?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to be negative on this show at all. Like, I think I give it a thumbs up. It's interesting. Look, when you swing for the fences, sometimes you fall short. So I appreciate them trying something really different.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't like any of the other shows. That's for sure. It's completely different from everything else that we had. I will say it did get me excited a little bit for Deadpool, like the way that they were doing the fourth wall.
We'll see what he does.
I can only, if I'm having a good time with her doing it, I can only imagine what kind of crap he's gonna pull. But Mr. Rue, our guest of honor, promote yourself, sir.
As always, look for Amadou Moses, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Bite Size Breakdown, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We had a whole bunch of new reviews go out, including Smile, Werewolf by Night. And official, the last episode of One Gotta Stay had our new member, JTE. The next episode of One Gotta Stay is going to have these guys. It is going to be Apocalypse Takeover. A week and a half. Come see these gentlemen argue about some
It's
of their
gonna be
favorite characters
bad.
to see in our semifinal to see what two characters out of Hermione, Gandalf, Batman, and Spider-Man face off against Obi-Wan and Indy. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Jeez.
It's gonna be a bloodbath. That's what it's gonna be. Mr. Jacob?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jacob Bartley824, and yeah, on most of the shows here at Apocalypse. I did finally watch Werewolf by Night. Can't wait to talk about it. I think we're going to talk about it on Next Now, but
Yeah.
so keep an eye out. Yeah,
I believe that is Tuesday's topic. Is going to be now and probably some other Werewolf by Night and some other stuff. But yeah, you can find me B of Alcino on Twitter and Instagram. This is the last of the Marvel Rewind for a little while there, folks. We still have Andor, though, Fandalorian Club, and then Jacob and Keith do Lord of the Rings because I definitely can't. I don't understand.
This Saturday will be the finale review, so come check us out.
Yeah, so thank you, as always, for joining us, especially you, Ruth. Thank you for 2 shows in a row. We appreciate you. But until next time, everyone, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys later.